The multiverse, as we perceive it, stretches beyond the furthest reaches of comprehension. Its vastness defines the boundaries of time and space, an endless expanse filled with infinite stories waiting to be told, all brought together by a collective consciousness. This collective consciousness, the very fabric of reality and life itself, breathes existence into being. From its depths arose creation, and within its folds, everything that has been or ever will be came to reside. All the stories that mankind cherished, the myths we clung to, the legends we spun, all find their origin in this grand being, an entity as ancient as the stars, weaving tales to entertain both us and itself. This is where our story begins. A paean of godlike beings, the pure gods, wandered into our universe in their quest for knowledge. They marveled at its wonders, and in time, their explorations brought them to a small but remarkable planet known as Planet Earth. Here, they were enthralled by the delicate intricacies of life, the fragile balance between chaos and order. Inspired by Earth's beauty, they set about crafting their own world, Hyperia, a planet so immersed that it dwarfed Earth 1,000-fold. It was not just its size that set it apart, but the shimmering ring of pure energy that encircled its sky like a protective crown. As God shaped man in his own image, so too did the pure gods sculpt their first creation in their likeness, a being born not of flesh, but of an energy unknown to the universe. This creature bore no human features. It had no ears to hear, no mouth to speak, no hair to signify youth or age. Yet it lived, it thought, it felt, and most importantly, it had the gift of free will. This, the gods called an Elementiel. Satisfied with their creation, the pure gods brought forth more Elementiels, each unique in form, color, and extraordinary abilities they wielded. For countless millennia, these beings thrived, living in harmony under the watchful eyes of their creators. All was well, until one of the pure gods, driven by desires not understood by the others, sought to disrupt this peace. In secret, he manipulated the Elementiels, setting them against one another in battle. His motives were shrouded in mystery, but his actions sowed chaos. The other gods, witnessing this strife, lamented that their creations, so perfectly designed, could not coexist. They reasoned that it was free will that led to this discourse. Thus, the different Elemential variants were separated, each tribe exiled to different lands across Hyperia. The rogue god, his treachery discovered, was cast down from the heavens, banished to a realm of endless darkness, where his essence was consumed by the shadows. Eons passed, and the universe continued its dance. One day, an Elemential, reckless and curious, wandered from her home, journeying through the stars until she reached the distant planet of Earth. There, she encountered a creature unlike anything she had seen before. This being was human, fragile yet resilient, finite yet infinite in its potential. Drawn to one another, they approached slowly, marveling at the strangeness and beauty of the other. And when they touched, something miraculous happened. A surge of energy, a spark of divine power, coursed through them both. In that moment, the fusion between man and God occurred. The pure gods, watching from afar, were astonished by this union. They saw it a new potential, a blending of divine power and mortal ambition. To explore this further, they created 8 additional Elementiels and bestowed their power upon 8 human beings, forming the 9 Elementials of Earth. From that moment on, this divine gift was passed down from generations after generation, shaping the course of human history. Finally, we're done with that long ass intro. We move forward in time into the legendary kingdom of Camelot, a realm steeped in its tradition, honor, and mystery. Amidst this lively scene, a young man, no older than 17, rode through the streets in a simple cart pulled by a black and white horse. His name was Jason McCoy. With his bright red hair and confident smile, he was a familiar sight to many. The scenery changed as Jason left the streets of Camelot behind. The air grew thin, and the fields of swaying grass stretched out on either side of the dirt path. In the distance, the small house came into view, nested beside a simple vegetable garden. Here, life moved at a slower pace, far removed from the commotion of the city. Early the next day, Jason left the kingdom and rode south to Stacy's house. By midday, he passed through a small town and arrived at her place, nested in a tranquil setting that seemed untouched by time. The small house stood proudly at the edge of a field filled with maize, the tall stalks swaying gently in the breeze. Sadly, all good things must come to an end. Emerging from the tall stalks was a creature Jason had only heard of in stories. A small earth dragon, its body covered in thick, scaly hide. It had no wings, and unlike its furry cousins, it did not breathe fire, but it was no less dangerous. Its eyes gleamed with malevolent intelligence as it stalked towards Stacy's house. Without thinking, Jason leapt from his cart and sprinted towards the house. Jonathan, already armed with a pitchfork, stood between the dragon and the door, shouting for Stacy to get inside. But the dragon was faster than he anticipated. With a swipe of its massive tail, it sent Jonathan flying, his body crumbling to the ground and lays unconscious. Jason's mind raced. He grabbed the pitchfork from where it had fallen and faced the dragon, fear coursing through his veins. The dragon roared, its claws digging into the earth as it charged. Jason struck out, aiming for its legs, but the dragon retaliated, slashing his arm with its claws. Pain shot out through Jason's body as he fell to the ground, blood spewing from the wound. He could barely move, barely think. Was this it? Was this how his story would end? But just as the dragon reared back to strike, Stacy threw herself in front of him, shielding her brother with her body. The dragon's claws tore into her chest, and she fell to the ground, her blood staining the earth. Jason's world shattered. But something deep inside Jason snapped. A surge of energy, hot and electric, erupted from his right arm. He didn't understand it, didn't have time to, but in a single motion, he unleashed this power on the dragon, punching it so hard that the beast was sent flying into the forest nearby, and the forest was nearly destroyed by the impact alone. After the dust cleared, Jason McCoy finds himself in a state of utter confusion, fear, and despair, trying his hardest to understand what just happened as his sister lays nearly dead on the ground.